I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform and roll out!
What did he say his name was?
This is bad comedy.
Mastodon!
Pterodactyl!
Triceratops!
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus! Okay, Power Rangers, let's do it!
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hun Ya Geek showing. Now, before this episode actually starts, kind of a little announcement. I'm taking some time off. I have some dental work coming up. I've got 2 appointments over the next 4 weeks, and I'm just going to be having a lot of recovery time in between appointments. So I won't be doing any podcasts, any reviews, nothing. The channel's essentially going to be closed down for a month. You can still catch all the previous episodes we've done, including the one that's coming up next. It's about comic books. But yeah, we just wanted to pop on tonight early and say a big, massive thank you to everyone that's helped get the channel to where it's at. I also want to say thank you to the likes of Tony Harris and the Retro Movie Zone.
Yep. Everyone who watches on there, thank you very much.
Yes, for the people who found us through Tony's channel, thank you very much. Thank you for sticking around. My subscriber number kind of bounced up and down for the last 6 months. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like a ping pong with my subscribers. Like, So, you know, there's people in and out, and I wasn't sure who was going, who was staying, because it doesn't show me that shit. It just tells me that it's gone up or it's gone down. But anyway, so thank you to Tony Harris for popping along for 2 episodes. The Doctor Who episode, where we had the revelation you are John Pertwee's love child. You're never going to live that one down, Hun, for as long as we do these episodes and as long as we're in communication. You're not going to live that joke down. You should not have told us that story. I'm sorry.
No.
We mean it with all love and respect to you, Tony. We just mean it as a joke. We don't mean it seriously. So please don't get offended by our stupid humour.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just, if we jab little jokes like that at you from time to time, it just means you're accepted. Because we do it to each other. I mean, just the previous jokes we've made on other episodes. Yeah, the autobiography one springs to mind for me.
Yes. And all the...
Sorry, what was that, guy?
All the stuff that we had to cut out one of the episodes.
Yes, that strange little moment where there was a random clip of a certain someone inserted into one of our videos. Now, I don't know where that came from. Do you?
No.
Wasn't there when I uploaded
in our feed?
It wasn't there when I pressed upload. I mean, this Miss Violet Impulse character, I mean, she's... seems interesting.
Very, very.
We'll see more in the future.
Oh, hopefully.
Because we don't like foreshadowing on this channel whatsoever.
Not at all, not at all.
No, we've not done it in previous episodes where I flashed up an 80s action movie during a sci-fi talk. I didn't do that on purpose. Totally not.
No.
Okay?
No.
It's not foreshadowing. It's an Easter egg when the series concludes. You have to go back and watch it again to spot the Easter eggs. That's what it is. We're setting up our own shittier version of the MCU. Instead of Iron Man, we've got Tin Pot Dude.
Aye, we've got Caliverse.
Yeah, the Caliverse. It's not Iron Man, it's Tin Pot Man. Instead of Thor, we've got Boar.
Yeah.
The guy sits around saying boring facts all day.
That'd be me.
Which sounds, well, actually, I was going to say it sounds like somebody we used to work with.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. It does sound
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Like I said, we're going to be gone for about 4 weeks. So from the date this episode goes out, which is this coming Wednesday, we'll more than likely be back the 7th or the 14th of September, somewhere around that time. About 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get documentation of this. Guy, will I take those 4 weeks off?
No.
Do me a favor. Watch Gargoyles, because I want to do an episode on it.
Okay. Well, what's it on?
Even if, and I'll let you away with this. Even if you watch just the first season,
Season?
the first season's only like 20 something episodes. The second season,
Only.
Hold on, the second season is 67 episodes, so I'm letting you off lightly.
Jesus Christ. I haven't got time to suck gargoyles' dick.
They're
Jesus
20.
Christ.
They're 20-minute episodes. They're
I've got like
20-minute
300 episodes of Supernatural to get through.
Today on Things Guy has to do before he dies.
I fucking think I will die.
But yeah, they're only 20-minute episodes, so even if you just make it through the first season, you got 4 weeks.
What's it on?
Disney Plus.
No, this is on there.
It's on Disney Plus, and like I said, they're 20-minute episodes. And like I said, I think the first season is, I don't think it's even 20 episodes. I think it's like 18, 19 episodes, but it lays the groundwork going into season 2. But you get the general idea, and if need be, there's videos already on YouTube talking about it. I just want to add my 2 pence worth to it.
Okay.
But anyway, we're getting off track. This was meant to be a thanks and
Yeah.
a bit kind of thing, and we rambled a bit. Tangents, it's what we do here.
Yeah, tonight on Tangents.
I think I might change the name of the channel to Tangent Co-Productions.
No, just call it to On Your Tangent Show.
We'll set up a separate podcast just for tangents.
Yeah, then it's 2 mates just chatting shit.
Yeah, we'll add alcohol into the mix. We'll make a drinking game video,
No, cool.
Every time somebody says like a famous actor's name, you got to take a shot or something. Well, we'll figure it out. We've got plenty more to come in season 2.
This is
So,
true.
and as a teaser going into season 2 of Hun Ya Geek one of the first big things we have coming up is an interview with a production company in America called Little Spark Films, I believe. I'd have to double check. I don't fact check around here. But yeah, Joe Manco and Catalina, we had an interview with them. We interviewed actually weeks ago. It was about 2 months ago we interviewed because that was when they were available. But we were saving it for a special episode because the subject we talked about is something that's coming in season 2. And it's going to be the premiere of season 2. And that's all I'm going to say for now. But if you do know these people from Twitter and social media and other places, then you may already know what the episode's going to be about.
Indeed. Oh, God.
But we shall see. But for now, it is a thank you and a goodbye. This is the last episode of season 1, all about comic books. Our favourites, not the greatest comic books, just our because if we're going to talk about comic books, we don't want to talk about the big names that are famous, that everybody loves, because everybody's talked about them, they've been done to death. We just talk about our favourite ones. If they happen to be big name ones, yay. If they don't, so. But anyway,
if you've not read any of them, check them out.
It's goodbye from me. So
hold on, just before we go, there will be little things from me in the break. We're going to be starting off random films. So I'm going to be doing little videos that Kelly's going to upload onto the channel. Me just chatting shit about films I like. So come along, could be cool.
Well, there we go. See, there's still going to be content in the interim. I could make a joke there, but I'm not going to.
Probably best not.
We've made enough of those. Our channel's already got a low enough rating thanks to our language. We don't make it worse.
What the fuck are you talking about?
No.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, I have been your wonderful host, Callista Valentine, and I shall see you in 4 weeks' time.
Yes, and I've been JB, and I've got... Oh, fuck off, HB. I've got a popple, and it won't go there. Thank you. Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh, never a technical hitch on this channel, folks.
Fuck off, HP. Fucking doing a podcast. Fuck off.
We were just saying about language. Carry on.
No, bollocks.
Right, as you were saying, you are JB and...
Yes, and this with me, as ever, is the lovely Callie, the queen of Calico Productions.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, we'll see you in September, everyone.
Right, take it easy. Bye.
There was a motorbike right as I said goodbye. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is Wednesday night. You know what that means. It's time for Hun Ya Geek showing, presented to you by Calico Productions in association with jbsatwat.com. With me, as usual, is the lovely Callie Valentine.
Hello, everyone. Good to be back for another episode.
Hell yeah. And I'm the random man who's come from down your way, and I'm ready to play as per usual. So, tonight we are doing favorite comic books because, let's face it, we're a geeky kind of podcast and we ain't done comics yet. This is a serious omission.
Yes, I think especially after the Predapalooza that we seem to have had just recently here on the channel.
Yeah, we just love sucking the Pred's dick.
Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah, but since that, we haven't really talked much about comic books here on the channel. We do like comic books.
Yes, we do.
Unfortunately, due to budgetary restraints, I can't always afford to get the latest issues or the latest graphic novels. I'm personally of the opinion, this is just my personal opinion when it comes to comic books. If there's an ongoing storyline that's kind of got the public eye, I will wait for the collected edition, like graphic novels to come out so I can read the storyline all in one go. I've said a similar thing about TV shows. I'm like Stranger Things. I'm watching season 4 now that it's finished because I don't like to wait. When a story gets you with a cliffhanger, I'm an impatient bitch. I don't like to wait to find out what's going to happen. I don't want to wait a week.
Yeah,
I want to know.
I know what you mean.
Right now. So I'd rather get the collected editions and things like that. But I will accept things like, single issues as presents, gifts, whatever. Maybe if I see one that is literally just a one-shot comic, yeah, I'll pick it up and give it a flick through, no problem. But if it's an ongoing series, I tend to shy away from those just because it's an expense I can't afford at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing of it. I'm reading a lot online because I did have a huge collection of comic books which got stolen when I lived in Bradford.
Lovely.
By various cunts.
That is the politest way we can put it on the show, people. We are sorry for the language.
I'm not.
Well, okay. But moving swiftly onwards.
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Go on then, seeing as I'm the only one with reference material tonight, guy.
Shade went my way.
We'll go with an honorable mention first because I've not read it, but I have heard very good things about this particular comic book. So it's an honorable mention more than a pick because, again, hands up, I've not read it. I've not read comic books in quite a while purely because busyness with this.
Well, then I can forgive you.
Busy building up a small little media thing over here is what I'm doing. I'm busy. So I don't read many comic books nowadays, but my honorable mention goes to a signed copy of the Power Rangers Pink comic book signed by Amy Jo Johnson herself. I'm trying to get that in camera.
Lovely.
I may try and give this a read after this episode because I've got a little bit of downtime, but maybe not. But that's an honorable mention purely because I've not read it, but I've heard that it is a bloody good read. So that's an honorable mention from me. Going into one of my favorite, more recent, after the 2000s comic book, we'll go with that.
Yeah, okay.
Anything recent is anything in the last 20 years.
Yeah, fair one.
You got to cast a wide net when it comes to comic books because there's so much out there and there's so many storylines and so much going on.
Yeah, some of my picks go back.
Exactly. Some of mine go back to the 90s. So, got to cast a wide fucking net with this shit.
One of mine goes back to the
80s. 3 of mine do, but they're kind of one story. Yeah. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Yes.
Anyway, more favorite recent comic books for me is Kick-Ass.
Yes.
Excuse me for coughing. I saw the film first. I will admit I did see the film first. But when I got it on Blu-ray, there was a load of special features that showed like the comic book art and talks with John Romita Jr. about some of the stuff that he was doing for the book.
Oh, sweet.
I think at the time that they pretty much caught up with each other. I remember this very vaguely, but the first book came out, got turned into a film.
Mm.
The second book came out while the second film was in production.
Yeah.
And by the time the second film came out, the third book was coming out. It was coming out in issues.
Yeah.
So the second film was coming out as the third book was wrapping up. And so there was a lot of stuff from the third book that made it into the film, or the other way around, that stuff happened in the film and it kind of influenced what happened in the book, but not completely spot on. So there is a vast difference, like especially the way it ended. No spoilers from me here today.
Mm-hmm.
Not read the book. Very, very different. So I won't go too much into detail with it, but yes, absolutely fantastic read. The film, good. Book, even better, as is always the case.
Yeah.
I will lean over to one side. I will flash up some pictures over here with the power of editing in the corners up here somewhere. But yeah, just to show some of my favorite artworks throughout the book.
Could you do that with mine?
I can try. You tell me which books they are and what page numbers they are. I'll try and source the images.
I'll just do covers.
Covers, that'll be fine, yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to hear what they are, because I'm about to tell you, aren't I?
Go on then. Right, it's yours is the next one.
Okay, so my first pick is an absolutely brilliant book. It was released in 1991. It's Batman.
It's a Batman one.
It's a Batman book because, unpredictable, but it's not the one you think. It is actually called Judgment on Gotham. It's a Batman Judge Dredd crossover.
Oh yes, I remember hearing about that one. It's one that I've never read, but I've always wanted to track down.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I think you can read it online. I'll send you a link.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's a great book. The artwork is very different to sort of DC Batman stuff. It's very 2001 because it's the artist worked for 2001 AD. So it is bloody brilliant. There's dimension swapping. Judge Death escapes over to Gotham.
Sorry to kind of, again, here we go. Tangent time, tangent alert. I'm going to make a little GIF. Tangent alert over here somewhere. Tangent alert. It's funny you mentioning that came out in 1991. I think the early 90s were definitely, for comic books especially, were the versus period, because you had Alien versus Predator, Superman versus Terminator, Alien versus Predator versus Terminator versus Batman versus Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Spawn versus Batman. So it really was the age of, let's just throw these comic book characters together. We don't care what the setting is. We just want to see them fight. It's almost like that clip from the 2014 Godzilla. Yeah. Let them fight. It's basically just what they did. They went, other comic companies were nudging each other going, do you want to see who will win in a fight out of our two? Yeah, go on then, why not? And plus, around about that time as well, I think you had the DC Marvel amalgam universe. Yeah. Around about that sort of time where it was the two worlds kind of smooshed together, where we did get Logan Wayne as Darkclaw. Yeah. So, I mean, if anything, thanks. Yeah, definitely. But no, it's really worth a read. It's very 2000 AD art style, which for Batman, not going to really works actually. Oh yeah, that tangent again. Isn't it weird how if it's a very, very good Batman story, it seems to match pretty much any art style. Yeah. Like the Frank Miller stuff, especially Dark Knight Returns, all that kind of stuff with the big hench Batman. Yeah, it works for that universe that it's set in. Dark Knight Returns nearly made the cut, but this just edged it out because it had a huge effect on me when it came out. I just loved it. Well, exactly. I mean, this is personal choice. It's not, best ever. This is art, what we would want to read on a rainy day. Yeah. So. Oh, it's such a great rainy day book. I can imagine it is. Like I said, it's one of those ones that I heard about a lot back in the day. But my Predator fangirlness was in its infancy at that point. So anything with Predator on it was an instantaneous buy for me, which is how I ended up with, and unfortunately losing over the years, the complete set of Batman versus Predator comic books.
Ooh.
I had the entire set, and then over years, I've lent them out to people and they've not returned them, or they've been stolen, or I've been moving and they've been lost in the move. You just whittled down to the point where I don't have them anymore.
Yes. Oh.
But I do still have my original AVP comics, so
there you go. But yeah, so to put a pin in that, Batman versus Judge Dredd, of course, there's some SmackDown action between them.
Of course.
So it's worth it just for that alone, but it's a great story as well. So check that out.
Definitely.
Your turn again.
You've just sparked a memory in my head, and I wasn't going to pick this one, but as soon as you said Judge Dredd, my brain just took a left step and went, I had that. Do you by any chance, and I think this is a British comic book, but do you remember a comic book character called Martial Law?
Yeah.
I actually owned for a brief time the special foil covered edition of Martial Law versus Pinhead.
Oh, nice.
Law in Hell. And I only had the one issue. It was I think a 4-part story. I only had issue 1. I bought it because it was the special edition. And Pinhead. Hello.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I only really can remember one scene in it, and you talking about the fights and everything, is Pinhead says something to Martial Law, and Martial Law turns around and cracks him one straight in the face. He knocks all of his pins straight back into his skull. And then over the next few panels, as he's getting up, he's pulling them all back out into place. And I'm like, dude's got patience.
Yeah. Oh, Pinhead's got patience. We know Pinhead's got patience.
You'd think maybe for situations like that, he'd just have a quite a strong magnet handy and just electromagnet over his face. He's like, a little bit further. There we go. Better. Anyway, my actual next pick is going to be one of my all-time favorites, and it may actually be, sorry, I'm just moving stuff. This may actually be my all-time favorite book.
Hold on, Kelly. Can you hold on? I've got a bit of a domestic situation. We need an edit.
Pause, hold on. Okay, so now that Guy has dealt with the spider, we're back with my next pick, which is, and this is going to be quite a long talking point because it's a long series, and yeah, I'm passionate about this one.
Yeah.
It is, in my personal opinion, one of the best written, not necessarily one of the best drawn,
right.
of its time, from the mid-80s, right? So when artwork wasn't as sharp and as crisp as it is today.
Yes.
Back when it was all done by hand and then printed on crappy printers. One of the best written by one of my favorite writers, Alan Moore.
Oh, lovely.
And it is the Saga of the Swamp Thing. Now,
nice.
I've done a video about this on here on Calico Productions already, so I will try to keep this brief. But yes, the whole storyline that Alan Moore worked on for Swamp Thing, to me, is just, it takes the character to another level, because unlike characters like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, the X-Men, all them lot, they're fighting to save the world, right? Swamp Thing is connected to the world. So when he fights to save the world, he literally means the earth, not the people on it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes he can go a little bit almost anti-hero with how far he will go to protect things like the swamp and things like that.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, the story of Swamp Thing is a genetic scientist by the name of Alec Holland was working on this formula that could make plants grow in the desert, basically, to end world hunger. Of course, greedy businessmen see dollar signs in that. They want to steal the research. Wackiness ensues. He gets turned into a big swamp vegetable man, basically. And for the first 26, I want to say 26 issues, it was believed that, yeah, he was a man mutated into a vegetable creature. You know, he was mutated by the matter in the swamp and he became a swamp thing, hence the fucking name. It's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne's a man dressed as a bat. He's a Batman. Alec Holland is a thing from the swamp. He's a swamp thing. It's kind of obvious. But anyway, when Alan Moore took over, he definitely pushed it more down the, I don't want to say pagan path, but it definitely has its roots there because, pun intended, I suppose. It definitely has its roots there because there's a scene where he supposedly gets killed. He gets autopsied upon. And the person doing the autopsy comes to realize is that what's laying in front of him isn't the corpse. It's literally a walking tree.
Yeah.
Like the lungs are made to resemble lungs, but they don't breathe. The heart is, looks like a heart, but it doesn't beat. You know, all the body, all the organs are there and looking as they should, but they don't function. And it's taking the character down that he's more of an elemental creature connected to the earth, you know, a deep spiritual connection to all that is. And I was like, name me one other comic book character that has literally had that transition from mutated person to celestial fucking deity of nature. You know what I mean? In terms of comic book character status, I think Swamp Thing should be higher than they are.
Yeah.
Really. But the book itself, it starts with a bang. It carries the fuck on. The first appearance of John Constantine. I don't care how that's how I'm pronouncing it. So Alan Moore actually created the character of John Constantine and very heavily based him upon Sting, to the point where DC comic books were actually frightened they were going to get a lawsuit from these lawyers of like I'll find the picture in the book and I'll put it up as a picture-in-picture thing around here somewhere.
Yeah.
You see that picture, you tell me that is not just the comic book version of fucking Sting. Seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is one of my all-time absolute favorites. It comes second to my next and possibly my final pick. So, Guy, yours is the next choice. Unless, of course, you've read these Swamp Things and you've got anything to say.
No,
right.
I've not read them, so therefore I have read nothing.
Right, well, get them read. Get them read. Seriously, high recommendation from the Queen herself.
Oh, okay. I'll take it from the Queen.
Right, go on then. Your next choice. I'm going to sidestep that joke and pretend I didn't hear it. Your next choice.
That was actually unintentional. Okay, here we go, folks. Let's see if you can.
Days
What's
of
that?
Future Past. Yes.
Yeah, bitches. It's Marvel
I
time.
agree with you on that.
It's X-Men time. My God. I mean, what can we say about this? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you shouldn't be bloody watching this podcast. You really shouldn't.
Exactly. If you don't know Days of Future Past in any which way, shape, or form, I mean, there's been a film called Days of Future Past. They did it in the cartoon series in the 90s.
They did it brilliantly in the cartoon series as well.
Yes, they did.
But the comic from 1981, of course, from the run of Claremont, John Byrne.
Yes.
Bloody hell. What a classic. Kitty Pryde gets sent.
Sorry, what?
Kitty Pryde gets sent back in time to cancel out the assassination of Senator Kelly. And, time traveling hijinks ensue with Sentinels.
Oh, yes.
It's marvelous. Folks, you know about this one. But I had to pick it. It's one of my bloody sentimental favourites.
It is.
It's what got me into X-Men in the first place.
It is. I mean, it's a bloody good storyline. I remember that's one of the earliest pieces of X-Men comic book art I can remember seeing is that front cover. Like I said in a previous episode, going into comic book shops and seeing all the latest issues and posters and things like that up on the walls that were 9 times out of 10 comic book covers as posters, and that being among them. And yeah, it's just a fantastic storyline. That's why they did it 3 times over.
Exactly. Oh, I've got a little JB fun fact for this one as well, because we seem to do that every episode now.
Mm-hmm.
John Byrne actually came out and admitted that he had unconsciously lifted the idea from a classic Doctor Who story called Day of the Daleks.
Yes, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
So so there you go. You owe it to Pertwee. You owe it to Doctor. Go check it out, folks.
Yes, we'll have to pass that information on to Pertwee's supposed son, Tony Harris, over at Retro Movie Zone.
Yes, we will actually, yeah.
There's your shout out, Tone.
Tony, you'd be proud of your papa.
Yeah, much love to your dad. We loved him in Doctor Who.
We did.
Kill us for that one again.
Yeah.
So, Days of Future Past. I'm broken now, I can't. Wine's kicking in. I'm the one drinking tonight, people. Hello.
Yeah, I'm the soap one tonight.
Right. So yeah, if that's your pick, move on to my possible final one, unless anything else pops in my brain.
Okay.
Right, my last choice, and I'm going to show off the omnibus edition because I don't want to get my originals out of their packaging again.
You never want to expose your package.
Oh, definitely not. Especially on a summer's day.
Yeah.
But it is the original run of Alien versus Predator.
Yes.
I have the first 2 volumes of the omnibus here. I definitely prefer the first one to the second one. And it's funny that you mentioned Chris Claremont, because I think he did actually work on the bulk of the story that's in this one.
Good old Claremont.
Deadliest of the Species. I'm trying to have a look. No, it's not got the original writers unless it's got it listed here. Here we go. Script. Chris Claremont.
There you go.
Deadliest of the Species. And although it's a good read, it's a little bit bloated. When you think everything's ramping up to the point where it's like, yeah, we're reaching the end of this comic book, it splits off with some other characters that appeared earlier on in the story and starts telling another line. But then all these kind of things all come back in on each other, and it all makes sense by the end of it. But for a big chunk of the reading time, you are just like, just get it over and done with, please. Like you're wishing the end comes along by the time you get to the end.
Yeah,
it outstays its welcome a little bit, but if you break it up and read it in sessions, I suppose it's okay. I read it in one go, and by the end of it, I was like, it's like nearly 400 pages.
Yeah,
it's fucking ridiculous. But again, mixed feelings about it, but it is a good read. But the original run, I do have the originals tucked away.
Yeah.
From 1990, it kickstarted an absolute love affair with all things Alien and Predator for me. So for me, it has to be my number one pick, because out of every single comic book I've ever had in my entire life, it's the AVP ones that I always come back to first. Yeah. When I first get back into reading comic books, I read Alien versus Predator or something Predator based. I mean, I'm currently reading Omnibus Volume 3, which is on my table.
Nice.
So yeah, I always, when I get back into comic books, that's my first place to go to. So my number one pick, AVP.
Awesome. Okay, so that's enough Predator for now.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
Or have we done enough Predator, considering the way that our continuity doesn't seem to really exist? We've either covered Predator in depth, or we're yet to cover Predator in depth, and we'll talk more about it later.
I don't know now. Could be any. Where am I? I don't know.
Timey-wimey. It's all timey-wimey stuff. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Don't worry, folks.
Continuity? What's that?
Yeah, we don't obey the laws of continuity here. Sorry. If you don't like it, come at me, bitches. So, is it my turn again?
I think it is your turn, and I think looking at the time frame, we're going to be looking at possibly last choice.
Yes. Okay, that's a big one.
Oh, go on then. That's what
Long
they
and
all say.
distinct. It's long and distinguished, like Mike Johnson. But this one is by IDW Publishing. So I think you may have a guess who it might feature.
Could it be the certain robots in disguise by any chance?
Yes, it could indeed, Kelly. 10 points and a gold star to you. Yeah, this is actually 2 ongoing series that went from 2012 to 2016.
I have a couple of issues. Issues. Keep talking about it. I'll go and get them.
Yes. So what we have is 2 adjoining stories. One line is called More Than Meets the Eye. One line is called Robots in Disguise, and they're both fantastic. Robots in Disguise deals with the actual end of the Cybertronian War, and then the ones that are left dealing with the fallout of the war being over, returning to Cybertron and actually trying to have a civilization.
Oh yes, I've caught quite a few videos on YouTube that talk about those comic books, because obviously when they're doing
brilliant.
I mean, the channels I watch like character histories and things like that. So when they talk about the character histories, they do touch upon the comic books. So I do know quite a bit about those. Again, I've only read 2 issues, and that would be these 2 I have right here. And because I'm a jammy bitch, I got these with the figures that they were Christmas presents. I have the exclusive cover for Chromia.
Nice.
Right up in the camera's smoosh.
Lovely. That's nice.
And my favorite, my girl, the lovely Miss RC.
Hey, you would love RC in Robots in Disguise. She's absolutely kick-ass.
It's one of these issues. I'm going to quickly find it because it's a brilliant picture, but it's where Megatron has basically sworn off the Decepticons and become an Autobot.
Oh,
and he's using, it'll be the other issue. It'll be this one.
Yeah, that's actually more in the More Than Meets the Eye thread.
Well, here we go. Here's a really cool panel. You got to check this out. Look.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, there's a picture in here where Megatron's sworn off the Decepticons, and he's got an Autobot logo over his chest. And the first time I flicked through this on Christmas Day, I was like, "What?"
Oh yeah, that's a whole thing.
Took me by complete surprise. I was like, and then I read that he said from my friend Bumblebee. I was like,
"Yeah,
bitch, what?"
Yeah, I'm telling you, you've got to read these.
Exactly.
They're
so
brilliant.
I may have to do a deeper dive on these comic books because
I really would if I were you, because I think you'd love it. And
I got those issues because when Hasbro were at the time doing, I think it was the Thrilling 30 for the 30th anniversary at the time. Also, it was some anniversary thing. They released RC and Chromia in special boxes with these issues with the special covers. And because I didn't know what issues I was getting, I literally just had to read them and take them as they were. I was like, well, these are parts of a story that I'm probably never going to finish because these were the only figures I wanted at the time.
Yeah.
You know, that came with the comic books. So I may have to track down
I'll send you links. I'll send you links.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
But on the other sort of half of this that runs in conjunction More Than Meets the Eye runs at the same time, and basically Rodimus gets bored.
Bored.
He does, bless him, he gets bored. He's no longer got the Matrix. So he decides to assemble a ragtag crew of Autobots and Decepticons together.
Oh, is this the Wreckers stuff?
No, it's not the Wreckers stuff. This is him leading a crew on the experimental ship Lost Light.
That's the one I was thinking of, sorry.
To find the Knights of Cybertron. Yeah.
That was the one I was thinking of. When you said the spaceship Lost Light, I was like, I know I've heard that name mentioned a lot of times. And I got a thing for Rodimus.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so worth it. It's got pathos, it's got humor,
Mm.
it's got some really nice moments. It actually got a lot of critical acclaim for showing same-sex relationships between the
Yes,
and stuff.
you fucking mind reader. I was just gonna
Mm.
say that I do want to give a big shout out to IDW Comics for their representation in the Transformers comic books, because not only did you have, like you said, same-sex relationships and things like that, but you also had, I think, I can't remember their names, bless them, it's completely escaped me at the moment, but there was a pair of Autobots where they were transgender
Yeah.
and in a relationship.
Yes.
Like
yes.
each one of them was transgender and in a relationship.
Yeah. And I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but yeah.
Yeah. But thank you, IDW, for that representation for what essentially is transforming robots, and what the executives in the 1980s said, why do we need girls in a transforming toy line? That's exactly why. That is exactly why. So
what are you gonna do?
But
yeah, it's, for me, I mean, they were just brilliant, and they're so long running. There's loads of them.
Oh yes.
It introduces
Boom Studio.
like,
Is it Boom Studios who do them now? The
I think
Transformers.
so, yeah. But
I've not heard anything about them, but anyway.
but yeah, you get brilliant characters like the Decepticon Justice Division, the
I've been hearing
Scavengers.
a lot about them just recently.
A
lot of videos on YouTube popping up about them.
Hardcore.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm liking the sound of this, so I may have to start reading some more Transformers comic books, because let's face it, considering that I've just bought Dragstrip, which means I'm fully invested in getting not only Motormaster, but also constructing Menasor, I'm definitely back into Transformers, and I think anything else is just superfluous at the minute. I mean, my shelves may get rearranged.
You know, it makes sense.
Bye bye, Power Rangers. I'm sorry, but for reasons we won't go into on this channel, but that franchise has kind of been tainted for me a little bit. So,
well, yes, true.
But anyway, I think that's it for today's episode, Guy. I
believe so.
I can't do anything off the top of my head other than, again, honorable mention. What a shout out! I read it once and I loved it. Death of Wolverine. It was a good book, but considering that they brought him back and then they didn't bring him back, and they brought Old Man Logan to take his place for a little bit, and then his daughter took X-23 took over, but then she didn't. It got confusing after that, and I just lost interest.
Too convoluted.
Exactly. Like,
that's the problem.
Up to a point, yeah, and they committed to it. I will admit, Marvel did stick to it for a good couple of years. Wolverine was dead and fucking gone.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the merger with Disney happens, and oh look, he's alive! He's alive! Kill off our most popular character so that Fox can't earn any more money from him.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's the megalomania. I've got an honorable mention as well.
Go on then.
It's actually a one-off issue of the Amazing Spider-Man run that began in 1999.
Yes.
Issue 38, which is called The Conversation, wherein Aunt May finds out about Peter. And they have a big, long, old chat. It's a brilliant book. Absolutely. It's so well written. It's lovely drawn. The art's great. And it's just basically their conversation about, why don't you tell me? Well, I didn't tell you because, and, shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really great. Honorable
mention, and this is more foreshadowing than anything else. I have read a couple of issues of the Hellraiser comic books. I can't remember which studio, I can't remember which comic book company did them, unfortunately, off the top of my head, but the one that I did start to read, and then I couldn't find any more issues and shit, and life happened. It carried on the continuity of the films, and Kirsty Cotton actually took over as Pinhead.
Right.
And it's one that I've been trying to track down for a while, and wherever I find it, I always find it as like it's part of a set. But the set in total is going for like 60, 70 quid. And I'm like, well, I only want the next issue along. I don't want the full, I do want the full set eventually, but not all in one go at that price. I can't afford that price.
No.
And when I have seen it like sold on its own, I've not had the money to be able to buy it. So
All right.
I will try and find a place online to read it, but you know me, I prefer a book in my hands.
I know, but sometimes.
When I'm getting lost in my own little world, I like to feel it in my hands, you know.
Yeah, I know.
The book. I meant the book.
Right, of course you did. Yeah.
I just realized, I looked at my camera and I noticed the hand gesture I was doing. And I was like, no.
You didn't notice
and
my
then the book. I like to feel the book in my hands.
That looks even worse.
I know. I'm just digging a fucking hole here, all right. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Yeah. I'm going to go get Callie a shovel and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye. Take it easy.
I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform and roll out!
What did he say his name was?
This is bad comedy.
Mastodon!
Pterodactyl!
Triceratops!
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus! Okay, Power Rangers, let's do it!
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.